Hello, everyone. Welcome to the District 103 Toastmasters YouTube channel. Today we have an extraordinary guest. She is a best-selling author, award-winning speaker, certified master life coach, a TEDx speaker, podcast host, and she's one of the top 1% of Toastmasters worldwide with the distinguished Toastmasters title. Please help me welcome the dynamic and inspiring Dr. Nikeya Young. Dr. Nikeya
Everybody.
Young. Yes, I'm so glad to have you here. And you're going to be featured as one of the speakers for the upcoming District 103 Toastmasters annual hybrid conference on April 25th, 26th. But on the 26th, you're going to be speaking. So are you excited about it, Nikeya?
Yes. Oh my gosh. And thank you for that beautiful welcome. I'm so excited. I cannot wait.
That's great. And we're ready, for you to drop those gems today because we know that you have a powerful session that you're going to be doing on Saturday morning and things of that nature. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to want to know a lot more about you because not only are you one of our speakers, but you were one of our Toastmasters in District
Mhm.
103 who have achieved so much in a short time. And what motivated you to pursue a distinguished Toastmasters designation? And
Mhm.
how has that journey helped shape you as a leader and a speaker?
Ooh, okay. Well, in terms of what motivated me, I am one of those people always, whenever I start anything, I always think about the end result at the beginning, if that makes sense. So, um, and yes, I was this extra as a child, even, but I didn't want to just do like if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. Like I'm going all in, and I wanted to be a better speaker. That's why I joined Toastmasters in the first place. Um, and I was initially doing it because I wanted to be a TEDx speaker one day. And when I kind of did some searching, some deep diving into how people prepared to be ready for the TEDx stage, one of the top things I kept seeing over and over was like Toastmasters. Oh my God, Toastmasters helped me so much, and Toastmasters this. And I'm like, okay, what's this Toastmasters? I kind of vaguely heard about it before. So I went on the site, put my zip code in to see where was a club near me, and I got in. And then, so that was the first goal. I was like, okay, I want to get ready for TEDx. Toastmasters can help with that. Once I started learning more about Toastmasters and just kind of the different levels, I was like, whoa, this is like a whole thing. Like, it's like rankings and awards and levels. I'm like, wait a minute now, this is something completely different than what I thought it was. And I
Yes.
saw the educational portion of it, and leadership potential of it. And I was like, oh, this can help me in so many areas besides just getting ready for TEDx. And I saw like you can get the distinguished Toastmaster and what all that entailed. And I was like, oh, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm so like me joining Toastmasters, I joined with the goal that I'm going to be a distinguished Toastmaster one day. Yeah.
That's awesome. And the great thing is that you had goals because
Yeah.
many people, we always ask them when they join Toastmasters, what are your goals?
Mm.
And of course, some will say, I want to be a better speaker, a better leader. And the great thing about Toastmasters, you can always excel outside your club and just do all those great things. But getting that DTM
Mhm.
is a proud moment. It's the highest achievements in Toastmasters as well because it
Yeah.
shows your true leadership and also that you put in the time to become that effective speaker as well. And that's why we're
Mhm.
excited to have you because you have this upcoming session coming up on April 26th at 10:30
Mhm.
a.m. And the title of your speech is going to be Speak Up, Stand Out, Overcome Fear, and Own the Stage. And what
Yes.
inspired you to get people on stage to own it? And what can attendees expect to walk away after your session?
All right. Okay. So I'm gonna give y'all a little bit. I don't want to tell you too much because I want you to come to my session. But in terms of what inspired me, when I'm out and about and I'm doing different things, a lot of people will say things to me like, "Oh my gosh, how are you doing that? Like, I wish I could do that one day." And or I always wanted to do that, or something to that effect. And I'm just like, well, we'll do it. Why aren't you doing it? Oh, well, and then it's kind of like this weird energy, like, I don't know, it's just one day, like kind of off into the distance. And it's like, why not make that one day today? So I see the desire in people and I want to help them get there. So that is like, that brings me joy more than anything else. And everything that I do in my professional life is somehow, some way connected to pulling potential out of people because I remember being that person. I did not wake up like this. I know that's a popular Beyonce song. Like, I woke up like this. Like, no, I did
Right.
not. There was a time
Exactly.
when I was very shy, very withdrawn. And I'll talk more about this in my session. I did not wake up like this. It took a while for me to pull my voice out and use it. And I did it initially with fear and trembling. And so, I just want to instill that in people. If that's you, I can relate. And don't let my resume fool you. Okay. Each step was a faith step. And the secret to that is once you do that first one, it gives you confidence to go, oh, I did that. Now I can try this. And then it keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. But you have to start with that first step. We'll
You
talk about it
do.
more in a few weeks.
Exactly. And the thing that I like what you said, you just telling people, these are progressions,
Yeah.
these are steps that you have to take, and it's all about doing. And the one thing I know about Toastmasters, when I listen to the documentary for the 100-year anniversary, they said the Toastmasters is all about doing, it's putting the forth of being that leader and to being that great speaker. And then the great, of course, he's still alive now. I'm not trying to put him in the grave, but John C. Maxwell says,
Yes.
he said, you need to take people where you've been. So
Mm-hmm.
here you started somewhere, because I almost said the great John C. Maxwell, but he's still great, y'all, because one, he wants us to be better leaders. And because you had taken that step, you can show others how to become an effective and strong speaker, because we do
Mm-hmm.
have some members in our district who had expressed that they have a fear of public speaking. And I'm so
Yeah.
glad that you're coming to D103's annual conference to show them how to own the stage. And I know that you're going to give them that presence and give them those nuggets to take away so they can become a very effective speaker. So I want to ask you a question, Nikeya. Why should attendees make it a priority to come to this year's D103 Toastmasters annual hybrid conference?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is like the D103 Toastmasters Conference. This is like our mecca. This is like the big culmination of everything that happens all during Toastmasters year. There's educational awards given out. It's the networking event of the year. And let's face it, it's been 5 years since COVID. I know we were chatting before we hopped on with you guys. And a lot of us are still doing things virtually, which there's nothing wrong with that. But girl, sir, ma'am, every now and again, y'all gotta hop out from behind these screens and come see people. And that's what this is. This is our family reunion. I hope it's gonna be a DJ there because last time I came to the conference, child, we was lit. We was on the floor, like getting it in. And I'm definitely gonna wear some comfortable shoes because I want to dance with y'all too after we eat.
Oh,
But
yes.
it's our time to get together. You don't want to miss this. And bring a friend, bring several friends.
Yes. And you know, the great thing about that you said dancing, we are going to have a dance floor in the middle of the ballroom on
Okay.
Saturday
All right.
after the DTM ceremony and the installation, and we're going to have a ball. And we
Mhm.
have Ruben, who is our sound guy. He said whatever music you want to hear, he take requests. So it's going to be
Okay, where's Ruben? I hope Ruben is watching. I'm just bringing my fans. Where them fans at? Go on and find that song, Ruben. And
we should
all
have
the
brought
new
our
line
band.
dances. Yeah. I should have had it with me today so I can, yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. It's gonna be so much fun. And you know, it's nothing like having a great DJ after our great
Mhm.
events. And so we really want our members and bring your guests with
Mhm.
you and just have a ball. Eat under the
Absolutely.
same roof, get your meals because we're gonna have a good time because it's gonna be held at the Chicago Marriott Hotel. And it's just
Mhm.
going to be amazing. And then in the chat, not the chat, but in the description, you'll be able to click on the link to go to the landing page to see what's going on at the conference. But it's going to be a great event. We have Jocelyn Tyson, who is our keynote speaker, and then we have our international director, who is Sereni Voss, one of our local leaders here in Chicago. He's going to be there. He's going to be giving a great education session and speaking to our achievers, as well as Jocelyn, who's going to be speaking to our achievers as well and giving us some great keynotes and nuggets, just like Nikeya
Awesome.
Young. So I do have a couple
Thank you.
more questions for you, Nikeya. You know, as a mental health coach and a life coach, how do you help people move past fear and self-doubt when it comes to speaking or showing up boldly in their lives?
I do help them do the inner work. And what I mean by that is, I always tell people that fear is learned. And if you don't believe that fear is learned, just go to a playground and just casually observe kids playing. Like little kids. Little kids aren't scared of anything.
Mm-mm.
They think if Superman can fly, how hard can it be? That's like the faith of a little child. And we learn to be afraid of things as we get bigger. And so just kind of doing different exercises and taking people back to the childlike version of themselves. There's a reason therapists always start with asking you about your childhood because we pick up a lot of habits and a lot of those things and we take them into adulthood. They help shape us. So, what were some of the fears that helped shape you? Um, or when did you first learn to be afraid? I would say. So be prepared about that and do some deep digging. And that's usually what I do with people and talk through those scenarios and do some exercises to unlearn some of the negative things that we've learned that cause us to shrink back instead of coming out of our cocoon and operating in our purpose and our gifts.
Exactly. I'm glad that you said that because I had did a YouTube live about that, about the power from within. You know, a lot of
Mhm.
people do, you know, they shine back and they don't bring that light out for some reason and
Yeah.
they shrink. And that's great that you give them those exercises to bring out the best in themselves. And I think with this session that you're going to be giving, it's just going to be amazing to get our members to be more comfortable speaking in front of individuals because like you said, we've been on Zoom for quite some time, and then coming in person to actually speak in front of your members at a club level, that can bring a lot of fear. Now, the next question is coming back to you. You wear many hats. You're a speaker, you're a minister, you're an author, entertainer. I mean, how do all those roles influence your message when you step on stage?
Well, first thing is I'm not always doing all of those at the same time, y'all. Like, some seasons I'm doing some of them more than others, but each thing has given me the courage to try the next thing, like I said earlier. And I would say you said, how have they shaped me in my speaking?
Yes.
They all build on each other. Like, even I have a background in entertainment where I've done plus size modeling, I've done beauty pageants, I've done acting, I've done singing. And I'm not doing any of those things now, at least not to the extent that I was back then. But that gave me the courage to stand on a stage and speak. It's like, after you sing in front of a room full of people, speaking is much easier.
Right. Yep.
You know, after you've walked a runway in front of big rooms full of people, and there's all kinds of things that could go wrong with that. You could trip and fall up the steps. You could, I don't know, anything could go wrong. After you face certain fears, you can step out and you speak. And I pull the confidence I gained from each of those stages and put it in my speech. I would say one of the roles that has prepared me for a lot of what I do is being a former school teacher. I used to work for Chicago Public Schools. I used to be a special education teacher. Middle school kids are the roughest audience you will ever speak in front of. Okay, being a middle school teacher, being a teacher of any kind is like doggone Showtime at the Apollo. Okay, because
Right.
little kids will let you have it.
It will. Oh my God. They speak truth to power, on
Yes.
certain levels. But the thing is, but to get their attention, it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, oh my goodness. Because I know they're honest and things of that nature, but just to keep them focused. And but I
Mm-hmm.
think that the next step is getting them to use that energy to be be a better speaker and how to use their
Mm-hmm.
voice because they can
Absolutely.
talk. They can
Yes.
talk.
Yes.
Oh my
That
goodness.
that that pulled out those 5.5 years that I did the school teacher. That pulled out everything. That was
Right.
like that was, I would say, between that role and motherhood,
Right.
and homeschool mom. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Because you
after
made
doing those two things, I could do anything. Those three things, I could do anything.
exactly because they said that moms are really project managers because you're
Yes, we
handling
are.
all these different things. And I
Mhm.
mean, and then when you're doing all these different roles, people, wondering how do you handle and juggle? But if you're great with time management, I mean, like you said, you're not doing them all the time. But when those opportunities do happen, you know how to juggle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So my last question to you is like, what advice would you give to someone watching right now who has a story to share? However, they feel too afraid to speak up. What do you say to those individuals?
I would say start small. And when I say start small, it could be just raising your hand and offering your opinion when you're in groups, when you're at work, or when, you're in a position where someone says, "What do you think?" Don't sit there and look around and see what everyone else thinks. Decide before you even go to the event, I'm going to say something today. Take little steps. They have testimony service at your church. Next time they have it, I'm going to get up and say something, right? Just exercising that muscle in little ways. If you're in your Toastmasters club, you better be one of the people to volunteer for table topics.
Exactly.
You better, you better. So just taking those times to just flex the muscle of speaking. The biggest advice I have for people is don't wait till you're ready. You're never going to be ready. You'll just be waiting and waiting and waiting. Like, if
Exactly.
you imagine double dutch, you'll just be doing it, but you just never jump in and start doing it.
Right.
Go ahead and just jump in there. Yes, don't wait until you're ready. That's the biggest advice I have.
That is the most important. You have to jump in. And I think it's the most important thing because you never know what the outcome will be. And then it's the experience behind the action. And I just want to say, Dr. Nikeya Young, thank you so much for sharing your heart, your wisdom, and your story with us today. It was truly an honor to having you on District 103's YouTube channel. And
Thank you
it
for
was
having
just
me.
amazing. And I just want to see and make sure that we don't have any visitors that have questions for you because, you know, it's really important. So I do see Sheila Eaton's Brown. She said, no goals, you are not able to gauge growth. And she said she loved the title that we have. And
Awesome. Okay.
we have Whale. And so they're saying
Hey,
that's a
yo.
great point. Yep, Whale's in the house. Yeah, so we have some, you know, great people, and I know we're going to have some individuals that's going to be looking at the replay. And before we wrap up, we'd like to give a special shout out to our in-kind sponsor, Garrett Popcorn Shop. Yep, Garrett Popcorn Shops for supporting the 2025 District 103 Toastmasters Annual Hybrid Conference, which is happening April 25th through the 26th. We want to say thank you to Garrett for adding that extra Chicago flavor to this incredible event. And so to everyone that is watching, if you're ready to overcome fear, own the stage, elevate your leadership, and make sure you attend the 2025 District 103 Toastmasters Annual Hybrid Conference, and you'll experience dynamic sessions like Dr. Nikeya Young and so much more. And then for details and registration, we want you to head over to d103toastmasters.org, and we'll see you there at the Chicago Marriott Midway Hotel. And again, Dr. Nikeya Young, it was a pleasure of getting to
Thank
know
you.
you, and we just cannot wait to hear your session.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be back and so excited to see some familiar faces and meet some new people.
Great. All right. Well, everyone that's out there in YouTube land, we are thankful for you to come today and to get to know our guest speaker, who is Dr. Nikeya Young. And we hope to see you on April 25th and the 26th. And the 26th, of course, is all our education speakers. And that's where you're going to see Dr. Nikeya Young. And everyone, you have a wonderful afternoon.